The sun had begun its slow descent behind the tall domes and ramparts of Vijayanagar, painting the palace gardens in strokes of molten gold and deep crimson. A gentle breeze carried with it the fragrance of blooming jasmine and the faint gurgle of marble fountains. Normally, King Krishnadevaraya found solace in this secluded corner of the royal gardens, where the rustle of leaves and chirping of birds drowned the endless hum of politics and governance. But today, the king sat alone on a carved stone bench, his brows furrowed, his eyes fixed on nothing in particular. His mind was restless. The tension with the neighboring kingdom had been gnawing at him for weeks. Reports from spies suggested that their armies were strengthening, their forges busy day and night, their granaries filling faster than usual. Was war inevitable, or was it a mere show of strength? He sighed deeply, his fingers absent-mindedly tracing the edge of his sword hilt resting by his side. Just then, the sound of cautious footsteps broke his thoughts. A courtier approached, his silken robes brushing against the gravel path. His eyes darted left and right, ensuring they were alone. He bent low, his lips almost brushing the king's ear, and whispered, "Maharaj, did you hear the news?" The king turned sharply, startled. "What news? Speak plainly." The courtier hesitated, then pressed his palms together. "Forgive me, your majesty, but before I utter a single word, grant me your promise of protection. I fear for my life if this reaches the wrong ears." Krishnadevaraya's deep voice carried both authority and patience. "You have my word. Speak without fear. The truth has nothing to fear in Vijayanagar." The courtier glanced once more around the garden, lowered his tone to a conspiratorial whisper. "Maharaj, it pains me to say this, but Tenali Raman, your trusted aide, is no longer loyal. He has aligned himself with the enemy king. He plots against you, scheming to weaken Vijayanagar so that we may fall into our rivals' hands." For a moment, silence hung heavy in the garden. The fountains still trickled, the birds still sang, but Krishnadevaraya's heart thundered in his chest. He rose from his seat, his face stern and his eyes blazing. "What nonsense is this? Do you know whom you accuse? Tenali Raman is no ordinary man. His wit has saved this kingdom countless times. He is loyal, wise, and devoted to Vijayanagar." The courtier bowed lower, yet his voice sharpened with false conviction. "That is the illusion he has woven around you, Maharaj. Everyone knows of your fondness for him. But loyalty? No. I tell you only what my sources have confirmed after careful investigation. Believe me, Tenali Raman is in secret contact with our neighbor. If you trust me not, at least investigate." Krishnadevaraya's fist tightened. Doubt, like a poisonous thorn, pricked his mind. He loved Tenali Raman's wit, his counsel, his honesty. Could it be possible that the very man he trusted most was plotting betrayal? At last, he said, "Very well, I will examine this myself. If he is guilty, he shall face justice. But if your words prove false, you shall answer for them." The courtier bowed again, suppressing a smirk as he departed. His plan had worked. The seed of suspicion was sown. The following morning, as sunlight streamed through the carved stone windows of the royal court, the air was thick with tension. King Krishnadevaraya sat upon his golden throne, his jeweled crown glinting, yet his expression was shadowed by inner conflict. "Summon Tenali Raman," he ordered. When Tenali Raman entered, clad in his simple dhoti and angavastram, his sharp eyes curious yet humble, he noticed immediately the king's grave expression. Raman bowed deeply. "At your service, Maharaj. What troubles your heart this early in the day?" Krishnadevaraya's voice boomed. "Tenali Raman, a grave accusation weighs against you. I have heard whispers that you conspire with our enemy king, that you seek to betray Vijayanagar. Speak. What have you to say?" The words struck Raman like thunder. His face paled, his lips parted, but no words came forth. His mind reeled. How could such a vile rumor reach the king's ears? He stared at the ground, speechless. The king's voice hardened. "Why do you remain silent? Is this not proof of guilt? Do you admit your treachery? Raman's eyes brimmed with tears. He looked up, his voice trembling yet steady. Maharaj, never have I had the audacity to contradict your words. I cannot call false what has sprung from your lips. But believe me when I say, my loyalty to Vijayanagar is as deep as the Tungabhadra river, and my love for you is boundless. I cannot betray you, for in doing so, I would betray myself. But the king's anger burned hotter. Enough, your silence condemns you. Your words cannot erase suspicion. If you have found friendship with the enemy, then go. From this day forth, you shall live among them. Leave Vijayanagar tomorrow and never return. Gasps filled the court. The courtiers exchanged triumphant glances. Raman bowed his head. He did not argue, nor beg for mercy. With quiet dignity, he said, "As you command, Maharaj," and he walked away, each step heavy with sorrow. That night, Raman prepared to leave his beloved city. The courtiers celebrated in secret, rejoicing that their rival was finally cast out. None knew what storm Tenali Raman's wit was about to unleash. Days later, the enemy king sat in his grand court, its walls adorned with banners of war, its floor polished like a mirror. The air smelled of sandalwood and arrogance. Into this court walked Tenali Raman, his stride calm, his smile faint. He bowed low and began to recite verses praising the enemy king's valor, wisdom, and generosity. His voice flowed like honey, weaving images of grandeur. The king, flattered beyond measure, leaned forward, his jeweled fingers tapping his throne. "Who are you, poet, who speaks so sweetly of me?" Raman straightened, his eyes twinkling. "I am Tenali Raman, once the trusted aide of Krishnadevaraya of Vijayanagar. But alas, I have been cast away, accused of betrayal. Today, I stand before you as a humble admirer of your greatness." The enemy king's eyes widened. "Tenali Raman, the famed wit and counselor, I have heard countless tales of your wisdom. To see you in my court is an honor beyond measure." He clapped his hands, and attendants rushed to offer garlands and gifts. "Yet tell me, Raman," the king said with cautious curiosity, "do you not fear? You come from my enemy's land, and you served his very throne. Here, your life hangs by a thread." Raman chuckled softly. "O Rajan, why should I fear when I see before me a ruler as noble as you? You are wise, powerful, just a mirror of our Maharaj himself. If there is enmity, it is born of misunderstanding, not truth. My only purpose is to remove this shadow of suspicion between two great kings." The enemy king's stern face softened, then broke into a smile. "Your words pierce the heart, Raman. But how can I be certain? Our spies swear that Vijayanagar prepares for war, and ours say the same of you," Raman replied smoothly. "But spies thrive on fear. Is war ever fruitful? Blood stains both victor and vanquished alike. Should not two wise kings seek peace instead of ruin?" The enemy king nodded slowly, his suspicion giving way to thought. "You speak true, but how shall we prove this trust?" Raman's eyes gleamed with mischief, hidden beneath sincerity. "Rajadhiraja, send tomorrow a special envoy to Vijayanagar. Let him carry gifts and a treaty of friendship. With him, allow me to send my own letter to Krishnadevaraya. If he accepts your gifts, let that be proof of his desire for peace. If he rejects them, then punish me as you see fit." The king frowned. "But would that not seem as though I were the one seeking reconciliation? Would it not lower my dignity?" Raman bowed deeply. "But remember, I have already come to you bearing the olive branch from Vijayanagar. The first step has been ours. Sending a messenger is but a gesture to seal what is already offered." The enemy king stroked his beard, then nodded with satisfaction. "You are wise indeed, Raman. Very well, I shall send gifts and my envoy tomorrow." Thus, the following day, a grand envoy set forth towards Vijayanagar, bearing silks, jewels, and a treaty of peace. Meanwhile, back in Vijayanagar, King Krishnadevaraya was restless. In his heart, he missed Raman's presence. The court, though full, felt empty without his laughter and wit. Then, word reached him that the accusation against Raman had been nothing more than a vile conspiracy. The king's face darkened with regret. Had he wronged his most loyal servant? That very moment, the enemy envoy entered the court, bowing low and presenting rich gifts. My king sends this as a token of peace, and with it, a letter from Tenali Raman. Krishnadevaraya's eyes lit up. He opened the letter, and as he read, a smile spread across his face. Raman's words were clever yet clear. Friendship had triumphed where suspicion had reigned. The king rose from his throne, his voice strong yet softened by joy. Truly, Tenali Raman is unmatched. His wit has turned enemies into allies, suspicion into trust. He has done what armies could not. Days later, Tenali Raman returned to Vijayanagar. The gates of the city were adorned with garlands, the streets thronged with cheering crowds. Musicians played drums and flutes, women showered petals, and the people chanted his name. In the royal court, Krishnadevaraya descended from his throne and embraced Raman warmly. Forgive me, my friend, I doubted you when I should have trusted. You are not only Vijayanagar's wit, but its heart. Raman smiled humbly. Maharaj, suspicion is like a shadow, it falls even on the brightest flame. But loyalty, like the sun, always shines through. The king laughed, his voice booming. From this day forth, let no one dare accuse you. Your wit has not only saved Vijayanagar, but gifted us peace. Gold, jewels, and land were bestowed upon Raman. As for the jealous courtiers who had plotted his downfall, they hung their heads in shame, unable to meet Raman's wise eyes. And so, Tenali Raman's loyalty was proven once more. His wit forever etched into the heart of Vijayanagar.
If you like the story, then subscribe, share, and press the bell icon of the channel for more interesting stories.